Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Every form is consciousness. It has a sense of self. So a house has a sense of self. Every object has a sense of self. Even in your body, your different organs have sense of self. Even an individual cell has a sense of self. So there are many different levels of existence and consciousness existing in the same space, even in you. And so it is in nature. So just because a life form is simpler does not mean that it's unaware. We're all the same. We're just in different bodies and expressions that belong to different levels of physical evolution. But it gives all of us different perspectives. And it's natural to be part of this conversation and to sense it all. And what one is seen, for instance, in the jungle, in big forest, all plants communicate. For instance, when there is a danger, one has been able to see that through these neural networks, information will be kind of broadcasted. And they're like energetic impulses. And this is something one can measure now. So trees communicate over miles and miles of distance. And it's basically different plants communicate with each other, and different life forms pick up on it. So they communicate their way, and birds communicate their way. So there are many different levels of communication. So when there is danger, it can be all life will support each other. And humans can be part of it. It means that when you walk around in life and you're present to that communication, it will communicate with you. And you will see no matter where you are, you will get the information you need. And you will see that sometimes birds can come to you, insects can come to you, things will happen that will be messengers. And they will simply be the manifestation of a vibration that you will pick up on. That individual insect might not know what it's doing. It's just doing its thing, being an insect, but it's part of nature. So there's a reason why it's there at that moment, activating specific vibration. And this is how it works. We're all part of something bigger. And just like your individual cells has a sense of self, they go into tissue, and that tissue might have another level of consciousness. And then that organ might have a different level of consciousness. And then it's connected, it has a different level of consciousness. And then you have your entire body, and then you have you, and you are a cell in a bigger context that also has consciousness. You're in a we, you're in several we's, and those we's are connected to even bigger ones. It never ends until there's simply oneness. So everything is basically cells in the same body. And we can allow ourselves to be that body instead of being the cell. But we're both. But when we allow ourselves as the cell to also be the body, we get that full contextual understanding of life and what we are and why we're here. And we become part of the purpose. We become part of that enormous expression of what is. And we will be in harmony with absolutely everything all the time. Because those enormous waves of oneness will not only wash through us, but we will become active expressions of it. And this is what you will experience the more you communicate with life, the more you communicate with nature, is that you will see these waves of oneness. you will see that it doesn't matter what form, what level of consciousness. It's all the same body. It's all the same oneness. And there is no competition. There is no hierarchy. There is no right and wrong. There are no belief systems. It's simply what is. And this enormous expression of love and unfoldment. And the more you tune into it and let it become part of your life, the more you transcend the more kind of animalistic approach to what it means to be human. Being human is a process of physics and spirituality and consciousness. You're part of this wonderful thing called life and existence. You have no limits. Even in that form, just as the cell can be the body, you are oneness. And you can live it and express it. And the more you try to do that, the more you will be in alignment with it. And this is really what the spiritual journey is about. Becoming more and more in alignment with what is. And growing out of the alignment with the subjective ego. Because that is always a source of pain and suffering. Because we're always out of sync, always out of rhythm, always out of musicality. And in oneness is simply harmony and flow and love and unfoldment, and it works. And it's that alignment and learning to be in that alignment that is true spirituality. And my approach is that we don't need any belief systems. We don't need any of the old traditions. We don't need the esoteric. We don't need any of that. Life is. Nature is. And we can just enter it directly. We can relate to it without making up stories about it. It's there. It's right here, and we're already part of it. So why complicate it? Oneness already is. The rest are simply misunderstandings. And all we need to do is to remove the misunderstandings and become more and more aligned with nature, more and more in alignment with what is. And it's so simple.